What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the TB Toycast YouTube channel. Today we are unboxing from Mattel and the Masterverse line. It is the new Eternia Man-E-Faces. I've talked about it already. I've kind of wanted to dive back into Masterverse a little bit. Masters is definitely a unique line for me because Origins hit about 2020, I think. And keep in mind, right before that was Masters of the WWE Universe, which I believe was hit in like 2019. And it was kind of like one of the first COVID-cursed lines we recall, where it was just like you couldn't find anything. At least that's what Travis has called it. And I was all in. Loved them, all into them, but then they just became increasingly more difficult to find, and I was just like, oh, I can't hardly do this anymore. Then Masterverse started hitting, which was mostly, at least the first 2 or 3 waves, was entirely based on the cartoon Masters of the Universe Revelation, which is on Netflix, which sounded fun, but didn't really hit for me. And I think a lot of old school fans kind of felt the same way. So it's kind of like, I don't know. Well, then these new Eternia ones started hitting. And I like these more, but kind of had fallen out of Masterverse and decided, okay, now I'm going to, so keep in mind, I've sold off all my Origins figures. I'm solely into Masterverse. Then I sell all those off, and I'm like, I'm back into Origins, because these are more fun. Yeah, so now here I am back in Masterverse. I'm not selling off my Origins. I've decided I'm just going to collect both. Why I didn't all along, it's like I told myself I can't do both. But why? As long as it's within reason, I don't think that's that big of a deal. I will say one thing that's cool about this, and you'll kind of see it as I open it up. All the pictures I always do with a background. This is the background. It's that kind of like brick or stone, cracked stone background, and it's not totally generic, but it works. And so I've used that. I think for one of the slightly bigger figures, I've used that for like all of my. I've kept it this whole time, and I use it for the background of like almost all my figures, and it's perfect because it's got a bottom, it's got walls. I absolutely love it, so I've used it since then. So it came from Masterverse. I'm always thankful for that. Of course, we got Man-E-Faces. He's got his nice gun. Got a couple extra hands, some extra faces there because he is, a man of many faces, as they know. Love the colors, like the bright purples on the armor, and the kind of the pinks and oranges. It really pops, and that's really what has always sold this line to me. This packaging, of course, is their older packaging. The packaging they have now, in my opinion, is even better. So the Masterverse line has really kicked into full gear these last probably year or two. Some really, really cool figures. But like I said, the new Eternia one specifically really hit, and that's really going to be the focus of my line. Now, there may be some others I pick up that don't have a new Eternia one, but that's going to be my main focus in collecting these. Of course, 30 points of articulation here. Really cool. A lot of different versions of Man-E-Faces there. Then, of course, we got the roster on the back. Pighead, that's kind of a fun one. Shadow Weaver and the Sorceress. I believe Sorceress was definitely from Revelation. Shadow Weaver, Princess of Power, I believe. And then Pighead from Sunman, Rulers of the Sun. That was always an interesting thing to me because I feel like that didn't quite take off like people were hoping. I thought it was awesome. Like, hey, you're introducing new characters into this toy line. What's not to love about that? But they didn't totally hit. I think in Masterverse we only got Pighead and Sunman, which realistically are the only two you really need, but it just didn't totally work, I guess. We see here, original design inspired by classic concepts. Man-E-Faces, human, robot, monster. When Castle Grayskull shatter new Eternia, the mind of an adventurer is shattered with it. Now known as Man-E-Faces, his curse forces him into the faces of many beings, from human to monster to robot, each with its own memory and agenda. Little does he know the combined memories of his many faces are the map for restoring Eternia to glory. Well, that says it all right there, but very, very cool. Love the artwork on these. Of course, you got Man-E-Faces right there. What's funny, though, about Masterverse, we had kind of thought it was simply going to be the Masters of the Universe Revelation line. It really wasn't until the new Eternia figures started hitting that I think me and Travis both realized, oh, wait a minute, this is like Marvel Legends or Star Wars The Black Series, where it's kind of everything all encompassed into one. And like these are just going to be more high-scaled figures. As you can see, this thing has been opened. Well, that's kind of cool. He's got a little thing right there. Definitely did not have that on the other ones. But as you can see, this is basically the background thing I use, but a little bit smaller. I have one that's a little bit bigger that I use from more of a deluxe style figure. I don't remember which one, truth be told, but yeah, that's it. Off into the big pile of trash I have here. So let's see, Man-E-Faces. Like I said, definitely a cool figure. I love his. These are removable. I don't think that they. Well, they might be. Do I dare break it? I don't know. I don't necessarily want to. Okay, I don't think they are removable. But that's kind of cool. Like, does it even close? That's, well, not as cool as I was hoping. What are you going to do? Let's get a cool, futuristic-looking gun. Very Eternia-esque. I do love it. And I think what's always been so cool about Motu, like I said, I did not grow up the biggest He-Man fan. I was born in '85, so it was kind of winding down by that point. Ugh, I hate that sound. I do have two older cousins, and they're both big. They were both big He-Man fans. I remember being at their house and just being like kind of taken aback by a lot of the characters, and I think that was the whole point with Motu, is they wanted a little bit of stickiness on this guy. I don't like that. He might need a good old figure bath. But yeah, that normally doesn't happen. This did come from a resale shop, so I don't necessarily know if that's on Mattel or on the resale shop. As you saw, it really wasn't actually. It was not open, but it wasn't sealed. So, you know, I don't know. What are you gonna do? Let's see. We can, of course, spin. What do you guys think? That to me is always a classic one. Monster, robot. Very, very cool though. Like I said, I love the articulation on these. These are, I know Masters of the Universe classics were obviously a big deal. In fact, I've been taking some pictures of those. Not the actual figures, but just pictures I'm finding online to post on the Instagram. Because I do like to post classic figures on the Instagram. I always think that's a lot of fun. And the classics line, you know, I think came at an interesting time because a lot of people, if they weren't Motu fans, didn't really know about it. And again, I think those might have done good at retail. It's kind of like, I kind of look at it almost like Marvel Legends, where like I wasn't into. That's very cool. I like all the faces here. Almost like you can change them out. I don't think these are removable. They don't look to be. And this doesn't. I guess this does close, but it doesn't. It kind of has a weird seam on it, like that, where it's kind of discolored. So I don't know if it's good to keep it closed. But you know, it's like his faces he wants to keep. So I guess we're gonna put it in that hand. But you know, like I was saying with Marvel Legends, I was 100% a wrestling figure collector. That's what I collected. And that's all I was going to collect. And then I saw Marvel Legends and I was like, wow, these things are freaking amazing. I need to buy some of these. And I'm talking about the Toy Biz ones. Same when I saw DC Universe Classics. Like, these are fantastic. And I think that's the thing with a toy collector. A good friend of mine, Scott Toon, over there on the Fully Posable podcast, had only been buying wrestling figures, and then G.I. Joe Classified hit, and he was like, oh man, I got to get these. And sometimes your fandom changes. Now, I think a lot of those guys have dipped out of G.I. Joe since then, but I think that's the whole purpose of a new toy line, is you want to get people kind of excited and into something new and fun. And that's kind of what has happened with some of these lines with like Masters of the Universe. Like I said, this Manny face is really, really cool. I love the articulation. I love the scale. I love the classic. Oh, that's kind of cool. You can actually put this in his back, too, if you so choose. So if you want to clip it on right here, it looks like it will go on right there. So he's got his backpack full of faces. I think it's kind of cool if he carries it, though, me personally. I don't like an overabundance of accessories. I've talked about that a lot. I feel like when you have an overabundance of accessories, that's when it's easy to lose them. And it's better to have just the ones he can carry because... I know it's good to bag them up and write them all that stuff, but, honestly, that's hard to do sometimes. And if you've ever moved a few times, I have moved a lot, then you know how hard it is to keep some of that stuff. So, all in all, I think this guy looks great. I'm super stoked for it. I'm super stoked to collect more Masterverse, to unbox more Masterverse. I got a lot more to unbox. I don't even have He-Man yet, so he will be coming up soon. I actually bought it, but I don't have it in my hands yet. So I did pick this up at a vintage shop. Really, really cool. I love Manny faces, and to me, like one of the coolest Masters figures you can get. But like I said, the Masters line is fun, and I hope it continues. I hope we get more fun characters. I think that was what was fun about Masters of the Universe Classics back in the day. Like I said, I didn't collect, but how cool to get some of these characters we had never gotten before. And to me, now that we're getting that with Origins, we're getting characters like Geldor, who I unboxed last week, I believe, or Demo Man, or Despera. That's awesome. And let's get those guys in in Masterverse. I think that would be great. I would love to see more of those. I would love to see. We have that new Moss Man coming from Mattel Creations, which is excellent. And there's that snout spout on Mattel Creations, which is really fun. So a lot of cool characters, and I'm very excited to unbox them all. But let me know what you think. Are you a Masterverse fan? Are you into the new Eternia figures? Sound off in the comments down below. Or maybe you're not a Masters fan at all. If that's the case, maybe this isn't the video for you. But I do appreciate you checking it out nonetheless. Definitely a cool figure and a fun addition to the line. And of course, always check out all my other unboxing videos. Last week I had some really good unboxings. Monday I unboxed from McFarlane Toys in the Movie Maniacs line. It was the Office. It was Kevin Malone as statue. How cool is that to have Office figures? I hope we get actual action figures down the road. That would be really fun. On Wednesday, I unboxed Mike Awesome from the Grapplers, or I'm sorry, not Grapplers Gimmicks, from the Heels and Faces line from Zombie Sailor Toys. Really, really cool. Huge Mike Awesome fan. His first figure in like probably over 20 years at this point. Probably close to 25 years, actually. And then also on Friday, I unboxed Geldor, like I mentioned before, from the Masters of the Universe Origins line, a Mattel Creations exclusive. Very, very cool. So check those out as well. Check out What's on the Pegs, dropping every Saturday. And then, of course, Tales of the Toy Box, dropping a new episode every month. Most recently, episode 4 was all about Toy Biz X-Men Series 1. Kind of in a master's kick, maybe Motu Series 1 will be coming up very, very soon. Who's to say? And of course, check out the TB Toycast podcast. I believe as this is dropping, we just did episode 200. Can you believe that? 200 episodes. Crazy to think, so check that out as well. Thank you guys very much for checking out the TB Toycast YouTube channel. That is Faces, all the faces. Maybe. It actually does turn pretty good. And we will see you in the toy aisle.
Yeah. One more time. It ain't over till I say it's over. So lock the cage up, cause this is a takeover. The wait's over. If this the final time we meet, then you'll be on your back on my feet. Then I'll tip the cage over as a hangover. I'm super fly so I can splash off the top. And I can shut down the shot.